Abandoned baby was found behind a biker's bar. What Hells Angels did next made headlines. The wind howled through the alleyway behind the Rusty Spur diner, cutting through Sarah's thin waitress uniform like a knife. It was a freezing October night, the kind where the breath hangs in the air like smoke. Sarah stepped out to take the trash bags to the dumpster, hurrying to get back to the warmth of the kitchen. But as she lifted the lid, a sound stopped her cold. It wasn't the scuttling of rats or the wind. It was a cry, faint, weak, and human. Her heart hammered against her ribs as she followed the sound to a corner shadowed by the neighboring building. There, tucked inside a soggy cardboard box, was a bundle of rags. Sarah peeled them back and gasped. A newborn baby, blue-lipped and shivering, looked up at her with wide, terrified eyes. Tears blurred Sarah's vision as she scooped the infant up, pressing him against her chest to share her warmth. But they were exposed, alone in the dark, and Sarah was trembling just as much as the child. Suddenly, the heavy steel door of the establishment next door slammed open, the biker's bar. Sarah froze. Emerging from the haze of cigarette smoke was a mountain of a man. He wore a leather vest patched with the iconic wings of the Hells Angels. This was Grizz, the chapter president, a man whose reputation was written in rumors and fear. Sarah backed up, clutching the baby, expecting the worst. Grizz stopped. His eyes, usually hard as flint, dropped to the bundle in Sarah's arms. The silence in the alleyway was deafening. He took a slow step forward, and Sarah flinched. But Grizz didn't raise a hand in anger. He took off his heavy leather kute, the one he never removed, and held it out. "Give him here," Grizz rumbled, his voice surprisingly gentle. "He's freezing." Sarah hesitated, then handed the baby over. Grizz wrapped the leather vest around the infant, creating a makeshift cocoon. He looked at Sarah, his expression shifting from intimidation to urgent command. "Get inside, now." They entered the clubhouse, and the roar of conversation died instantly. Dozens of bikers turned to look. Expecting judgment, Sarah instead saw a room full of men stand up. Grizz barked orders, and the room mobilized with military precision. Blankets were fetched, a heater was cranked up, and Doc Jensen, the club's unofficial medic and a retired surgeon, was called immediately. For an hour, the clubhouse wasn't a den of outlaws, it was a sanctuary. Doc Jensen examined the baby, listening to his heart with a stethoscope, while the toughest men in the room held their breath. "He's dehydrated and cold, but he's a fighter. He's strong." Grizz looked at Sarah, who was rocking the baby in a corner booth. "We can't keep him, Sarah. You know that." She nodded, tears streaming down her face. Reluctantly, Grizz made the call to the authorities. When the police and social workers arrived, they were met not by resistance, but by a wall of bikers ensuring the process was safe and respectful. As the baby was taken to the hospital, a nurse overheard the bikers referring to him and officially logged his temporary name, Angel. In the weeks that followed, Sarah's life transformed. She returned to the diner one last time to quit, only to find Grizz waiting for her. He offered her a job managing the clubhouse's legitimate logistics and charity front. The pay was 3 times her waitress wage, but more importantly, it came with protection. Sarah accepted. She found a family in the chapter, a sense of belonging she had never known. Angel was eventually adopted by a loving family who knew his story, but the Hells Angels didn't disappear from his life. They became his godfathers. A trust fund was set up anonymously for his education. Every year, on October 14th, a package arrived at Angel's house. No return address, just a gift and a card signed with a simple winged logo. 18 years passed in the blink of an eye. On Angel's 18th birthday, the local community hall was decorated with black and orange. Angel stood at the front of the room, tall and confident. The doors opened, and in walked Grizz. He was older now, his beard more gray than black, walking with a slight limp, but his presence still commanded the room. The bikers who had been there that cold night stood behind him, aging knights in leather. Grizz approached the microphone. His hands shook slightly as he gripped the stand. He looked at Angel, then at Sarah, who was sitting in the front row, smiling through tears. 18 years ago, Grizz began, his voice raspy with emotion. On the coldest night of my life, I found my heart in a cardboard box. The room was silent. People look at our vests and see danger. They see outlaws. But that night, we weren't bikers. We were just men who realized that the weakest among us needed the strongest protection. Grizz stepped down and walked to Angel. He pulled a small box from his pocket. Inside was a silver chain with a small winged pendant. "You were named Angel because you saved us," Grizz said, his voice breaking. "You reminded us that we still had humanity left. You are home, son. Always." Angel hugged the old biker, a moment captured in photos that would soon make headlines around the world. The story of the abandoned baby and the bikers who became his guardians spread far and wide, shattering stereotypes and reminding the world that kindness often hides in the most unexpected places. It is a powerful reminder that judgment should never come before understanding. Sometimes the roughest exteriors hide the softest hearts. Sarah's courage to stop in that alley and Grizz's choice to show mercy created a ripple effect of hope that lasted nearly 2 decades. If this story touched your heart and restored your faith in humanity, please take a moment to hit the like button. It helps us share these messages of hope with more people. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and family. You never know who needs to hear that second chances are real. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an emotional story like this. We are building a community of kindness, and we want you to be part of it. Tell us in the comments below, where are you watching from? Let's see how far this story of Angel and the Angels can travel. Thank you for watching, and remember, be the reason someone believes in the goodness of people today.